That's how I knew that I was different. That's how I know. 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 That's how I knew that I was different. I seen it. I thought it. I dreamed it. I said it. I love it. I need it. I want it. More of it. I feel it. I'm godly. I'm gutter. I'm genius. I'm proud. Cheese grits at 4 seasons. Fresh squeezing. No stresses. No reason. Toast champagne to achievements. I think we should dive off the deep end. I'm taking you on vacation.
Every weekend. Banger right there. A lot of gems in that, Jim. A lot of gems. A lot of diamonds in that song, man.
Shout out to Nipsey.
Hey. But
Rest in
Jimmy.
peace. Yes, sir.
I have to share one of my favorite quotes of all time, man.
Share it.
Belief is so powerful it can make an elephant feel like a sheep in the presence of a lion. That was by Dr. Miles Monroe, man. Shout out to that great man. Let me break it down.
Break it down.
You see, the elephant is strong, big, and can easily crush the lion, but its belief system thinks otherwise. It sees the lion and instantly fear is instilled into the elephant and its fight or flight kicks in. Now the lion sees the elephant and automatically thinks food, survival, easy target, and my kingdom because its belief system is stronger than ever. And that is why the lion dominates, man.
Shout out to that.
See, we have to continue to believe in ourselves and push that narrative to the forefront of our minds so we are able to conquer our goals, dreams, and aspirations.
Yes, sir.
Which leads us to our next guest. This man's visions, goals, and dreams have been solidified, and anything in its past will face destruction by way of KO, decision, or waving that white flag. He's now embarking on a legacy trail that can and will catapult him, his family, and community to the next level, man. Come on, man.
Absolutely.
I think we tend to take our hands for granted, Jimmy, because majority of us are born with them, but what your hands can do for you are incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
This man has climbed his way up the boxing ranks and has now officially gone professional. His professional career lifts off August 26th of this year. This coming Saturday, he will have his official debut and officially start his professional boxing career, where heads will be rung, mouthpieces will be flying, and his opponent's minds, will, and skill sets will be challenged by this man's vicious hook shots. He believes we should respect all, trust few, and do wrong to none. We have the one and only Abel Mejia.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Little hot and humid, but hey,
Hurricane y todo, way.
just giving him the glimpse of when he travels to Florida.
Only imagine.
Right?
No, man, first of all, thank you for coming to the show. We really appreciate it, man, so
Thanks for
much.
having me.
Yeah, of course, man. First off, tell the audience who you are, where you're from. Give us a little bit of background about yourself, your upbringing, your childhood, things like that.
Well, my name is Abel Mejia. I was born and raised in El Medina, California. I'm 20 years old, and I started boxing at the age of 7 years old. I have around 40 amateur fights, and I'm looking to make my professional debut this coming weekend.
Nice.
On the show.
Now, as a 7-year-old going to box, did you love it? Did you kind of like be like, I don't want to do this. I want to go play with my toys or ride bikes and shit,
Well, at first, the reason that I started boxing, because I used to play baseball before that, and then it was off season. My dad's like, all right, we got to find something to keep you busy, keep you off the street.
Yeah.
And then so he's looking around, and then he found boxing. And at first, my brother was real like, oh, let's do it. And then at first I was like, nah, I'm gonna enjoy, the time off, then I'll go back to baseball. And then one day decided to go to the gym with him. And I was like, I kind of like this. So, I kept going to the gym with them, and then fell in love with it. And then sure enough, the talent kicked in with it, and I just stuck with it. And ever since then, just been going at it.
Nice. What do you like about it? The running, the punching, the more aggressive.
Just because it's I don't have to rely on the team.
Yeah.
If it's all win, if we lose, if I lose, it's on me.
True.
And if I win, it's because something I did. I can't blame it. Like, oh, he didn't play his position.
Right.
His position. He didn't do his. If I win, it's on me. If I lose, it's on me.
Right. Absolutely. I see.
Freaking phenomenal, man.
Nice.
You have siblings and things like that?
Yeah, I have an older sister, older brother, and a younger sister. So I'm like the second middle child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, man. How was it growing up with your siblings? Do you have any like fond memories of growing up?
Yeah, it's cool because, and so like what my dad would always do is to make me and my brother more rough. Is we'd move the coffee table out of the way, and then just throw blows, until we couldn't no more. And then I think that's kind of what helped me get more into that fighter mentality as well.
Yeah, I remember growing up, boxing gloves was like a thing, and I grew up with a lot of family in the house, so like a lot of primos and stuff. So if we had arguments or things like that, my grandpa would take us to the garage, put on the gloves, and go at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And me, unfortunately, I didn't have someone like within my age range, so I always had to box my older cousin. He was like 5 years older than me, and he'd always beat my ass. So it's just like, dude, I'm fucking terrible.
The good old boxing gloves.
In my family is always considered one of the more older ones, so I kind of I would make the younger ones fight with each other, in the jumper and
I see.
stuff like that. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your history within the sport, and talk to us about your past matchups and who so far has been your toughest challenge, within your amateur career and stuff like that.
Well, I know I've had around, I think, almost 40 fights, and like I've had a lot of tough opponents, but I think one that sticks out to me is my last opponent. I don't remember his name, but he was ranked number 1 in the U.S. for the past 4 years.
Wow!
And it was a chess match, very shot for shot, and I lost that fight by split decision. It was a real close fight, but from that fight I learned a lot. And I did think that kind of helped me catapult myself to work harder for this camp for my pro debut.
Nice. What exactly did you learn about that fight?
It is like, don't always look for the big shots. You kind of have to, like land the small shots in order to set up those bigger punches, and then to almost like the foot placement too. Everything goes with the way you place your feet.
Yeah.
So you're always balanced. You can move in and out. Just stuff like that. Just real small things.
Yeah, again, sometimes you got to win the fight by actually boxing, right?
Yeah.
Not just brawling or knocking them out at those points up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Did you notice that a lot in the amateurs, like a lot of just like people trying to go in there and just brawl it out with you instead of technically trying to beat somebody?
Yeah, and that's how most of my fights went, is because they know every punch is a point, so they just come out wild. They know the rounds are real short, so they just come out real crazy, punch. But and a lot of people have always told me that, like, oh, you have the more of that professional style. You sit back, you pick your shots. Like in the amateurs, that might not be the best, but in the pros, that's gonna help you a lot. So
nice.
I was more worried about my technique and how the punch is gonna land versus just throwing a shot just to land the point.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Nice.
Did you ever get your bell rung in the amateurs?
No, I remember I technically got dropped because I got hit while I was moving, but my feet got caught up, and then so I tripped. So they counted it as a knockdown. And I remember I was so mad that fight, and then that fight ended up breaking my hand as well.
Oh my god!
And I remember my coach told me, he's like your hand's broken. He's like, do you want to just I'll call it. And I was like, no, my hand's already broken. Like stopping the fight now isn't gonna fix my hand. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember I won the round after that, and then I lost that fight also by split decision. But,
So at that moment, you can't even tell with your adrenaline. You can't even tell your hand's broken.
Yeah, like immediately once I hit him, I knew. I was like, oh yeah, it's broken.
Oh,
yeah. But I was like, if I stop now, it's not gonna make you feel any better. I'm just gonna fight through it.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think hands break like that? Obviously, I've heard in the past that your hand breaks, but why? Because it wasn't wrapped right, or just the way you punched them?
Yeah, I think the way that you punch, and I feel like the type of gloves that you use as well. Like the amateurs, it's soft foam, and then in professionals, it's horsehair, so it's a lot thinner.
Oh, what? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then so that's why they say it's a whole different ball game from padding to horsehair.
That's crazy.
Do you get to pick your own gloves and things like that?
Yeah. Like for me, I'm gonna go with the classic Reyes.
Hey, that's my last name, homie. Reyes.
Those are the puncher's gloves, and
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. So like in boxing, consistency, discipline, in our opinion, is some of the keys, right? When it comes to being successful in the sport. What are your keys to success, and how do you manage to stay on course when it comes to your training, diet, staying on track with your weight and things like that?
I think what motivates me in that sense is my family, because because we haven't been the most fortunate, but I can't say that we are unfortunate, because like my parents have given us real good lives, but you know, like it just having that motivation and then just having that in the back of your mind every day you're training, you're like, all right, I have a reason why I'm doing this, you know, why I want to get better, you know, so I can provide more for those people.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Your parents are Latinos, Mexicanos?
Yeah. Both of them were Mexican.
They migrated here when they were young too?
Well, their parents did. So my grandparents.
Okay, so they're more Americanized.
Yeah.
You're like what, second or third generation here?
Yeah, second, third. Yeah.
Nice. ¿De qué parte o de dónde?
Yeah, to see the sad part, I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, no speak Spanish at all. Damn. Okay.
No,
where are they from exactly? You know where your parents came from or no?
No. I know
your grandparents.
My dad's side came from Zacatecas.
There you go.
Ooh, arriba Zacatecas for sure, man. Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's where my in-laws are from, so I have a soft spot for Zacatecas, and I've been there. I've experienced the culture, the people, just Mexico. Period. If you haven't gone, you got to go.
Yeah,
man, it's a whole different level.
It's amazing, you know. But there's a lot of sad parts, but then there's parts like, man, this is beautiful.
Yeah. It's so beautiful, man. God, like Guanajuato. Oh my God, isn't that place
right?
beautiful? I want to live there, bro.
It's crazy. And then the weather as well, you know. Like, it's a little humid, but I mean, you know, like the views, you know, make up for it.
Yeah, Absolutely. Exactly. Go into detail about the process of maintaining your weight and stuff like that.
I think the main thing is just it's all discipline, you know, like, and the hardest thing too, because when I was younger, I always had a sweet tooth. So, you know, so that was the hardest part, you know, like my dad's like, oh, you can't eat that, you know, you got to cut weight. And I'm like, man, you know, and then, so I remember back in the day, I'd like, I'd eat candy here and there. And then it comes time to make the weight and you're like, damn, you know, I'm still over. But I think it's just the main thing is just discipline, and then knowing that you have to make that sacrifice, you know, in order to get the result.
That's a good way of putting it. Exactly.
Yeah, because you put on that hard work and then you're gonna just throw it away for a
pinchy Twinkie. Hombre.
No, so get a couple more days, you know.
Yeah. Or after the fight, just fucking pig out. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's crazy because back in the day, after my fight, I always wanted candy, ice cream, but now I just want like solid food, you know, like a good meal.
What's a good meal for you?
I think after my fight, probably like some pasta and some pizza, you know, like good carbs, good filling carbs.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nice. Do you have a nutritionist or things like that? Or?
Right now, not really, you know, but
mom and dad.
Yeah, pretty much mom and dad. Yeah. So lately it's been all, you know, chicken, green beans, you know, vegetables and just stuff like that. Just you know, smaller portions.
It's insane how much food is a factor in your weight.
Oh,
you know,
it's crazy.
It's freaking crazy. It's insane on how much it is a factor. So I can't imagine, man. It's got to be tough sometimes for you.
Especially when like everybody else in the household is eating normal, and then you're like, man, you know, like. And the hardest is during the holidays.
Oh yeah.
I remember I fought in the Silver Gloves tournament. And it was 4 months long. It was October, November, December, and January.
Oh.
And then so if you keep winning, you keep advancing to the next month. Months. And I kept winning, so I kept advancing. And then, you know, like, and then I fought 2 days after Thanksgiving. I fought 4 days after Christmas. So, you know, like, that's like the peak time of cutting the weight.
Would you have like a big old turkey meal on in the mirror right there every fight?
Well, what I used to do to help me out is I would be on YouTube watching, you know, like people making a giant Oreo, you know, something like that, you know, like, and that was helping me out. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Smell the bag of chips and then bite the apple.
Dang, let me just lick it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, from an outsider looking in when watching fighting, it looks easy, it looks effortless, but I know that's due to the high level of training and discipline that fighters have, right? You guys make it look so incredibly easy. But can you describe the behind the scenes work that needs to be done day in, day out, you know, to stay successful in the route of boxing?
Well, my like day-to-day training sometimes goes up to from 4 to 5 hours, just, you know, hitting the bag, sparring, you know, running I run at least 4 to 5 miles a day. And then so that's just, you know, that's just like portions of it, and then goes to the ab workouts, you know, like your leg workout, just to make sure your body's in that tip-top shape, you know, pretty much for war, you know, like they call us the modern day gladiators.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like we go in to take their head off. So, you know, at the end of the day, we're just making sure that we're ready for anything that, you know, the opponent has to offer.
Yeah. Man, shout out to that. Yeah, I was listening to Joe Rogan and Crawford, the podcast with him on there, and he was explaining all that detailed stuff and things like that. And something I had heard from Crawford was basically he goes into the fights and his whole camp and everything, just not thinking about belts and things like that, because he was explaining that at the end of the day, they charge you 3% for your belt. You have to pay for your belt.
What?
Yeah, the only one that you don't pay for is the ring one, I guess, like that. Yeah, that's
it's
the
all
only
the
one.
sanctioning fees. You know, that's just another way for for those sanctioning bodies just to make their money.
Yeah.
That's why they have the interim belts and just the smaller belts so they can make their percentages off of it.
Shit, I'm gonna make a 5 for the mic belt and shit.
Yeah. Sell it.
Charge fools fucking 5% and shit. Here, hold on to my belt.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So we asked Ronnie the same question, and we're interested in your answer as well. Describe what goes on in your head in that ring, man. Like, are you calculating things with your head? Are you actually listening to your coaches? Because sometimes it seems like the fighter's kind of like not listening. And do you hear the crowd noise? Is that distracting? Like, go through the detailed what's going on in your head.
With the crowd noise, like so pretty much me when I lock in, like once I step in the ring, I don't see the crowd, I don't hear the crowd, and I get very tunnel vision. But it's weird because I can hear my dad, I can hear my corner like real clear, and they're the only people that I can hear. Wow. And then once the round ends, then boom, it goes back to reality, and I can see and hear everybody after that. And then during the actual fight is like I'm so locked in, like I know what I'm doing, but I don't remember much afterwards. Like people are like, oh, you did this, and I won't even remember it.
Right.
But like during those those exchanges and all that, you're just thinking about the game of inches, just hit him and don't get hit, and then just looking at the small stuff that he does, like if he drops his hand a little bit before he throws a jab, and just stuff like that, and just like it's all milliseconds, and just timing and just stuff like that. Just trying to see the little stuff that he does to make that mistake so he can capitalize on it.
How much film did you watch before? Do you watch them before? Like you said, the little tendencies? Yeah.
So sometimes, but in amateur boxing, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because there's not really no film. Yeah.
And then, as you're calculating these things, you notice them. Do you tell your coach in the corner, hey, he's doing this, can we game plan this? Do you switch game plans in the middle of the rounds?
And it depends on like the guy's style. Like if he's boxing, and if he's comfortable going back, then I'll make him come forward because that's not what he's comfortable doing. So I get him out of his comfort zone, and then when he's out of that comfort zone, he will make more mistakes.
Right.
And then I feel like I'm good fighting going forward, but then I also can get on my bike if I need to and move around, and so at the end of the day, just pretty much like they call it the tough man sport, but it's more of a thinking man sport. Just whoever has the best mental game plan at the end of the day, whoever can execute it the best as well.
Nice.
That's crazy because rounds are what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes long, and you're doing all that in 2 minute rounds with the crowd noise, with all this distraction.
Is pro insane. 3 minutes?
Pro's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah. This will be is it going to be your first
my first pro fight? It's 4 rounds of 3 minutes.
Wow. Nice, man. Heck yeah. Got the bell, little bell, huh? So you've officially gone professional, and now you have this new journey ahead of you. What are your expectations like moving forward when the challenges in politics find their way towards you, and how are you going to be able to conquer those obstacles, man?
Well, like I'm looking forward to all the cuts and bruises and the adversity that comes with being a fighter. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna get hit. And then sometimes you're gonna get those guys that will take your punch and walk right through it, and it's just all it is okay. How do you adjust? That's the biggest thing I feel like in boxing is the adjustments you have to make in order to win. And just small stuff like that will make the big difference in the long run. Like with Floyd, he perfected it, hit and not get hit. And then that's how he lasted so long.
Yeah.
And then too, like he mastered the marketing aspect as well.
Yep.
Is like a lot of people didn't like him, but they still paid to watch him.
Yeah.
And that's how he made his money.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. Nice.
Like
people wanted to pay to see him lose, and he would never lose.
Exactly.
Can you explain briefly, like, how do you go pro when it comes to boxing?
Yeah. So pretty much, like, after you and your team feel comfortable enough, then sometimes promoters will come to you. They'll like, oh, we have this fight coming up. We love you if you beat on the card. We'll pay you such and such amount. And then you'll make this much. And
nice.
but we need you to sell so many tickets in order to make that much. Or if you're more of the higher up, the elite, you'll have promotional companies, coming to you like, oh, we want to sign you, for this amount of many years, we'll give you this contract.
Right.
And it's pretty much whoever offers the most.
Right.
At the end of the day is who you're gonna end up signing with. And then so it all just ends up on how your team feels about it, if they think you're ready, and just how they feel your career is gonna play out. If this is the right time, you know, if the fighter's body is mature enough to take that punishment or not.
Nice.
Oh man, that's insane. I was always curious about that. How you just decide to go pro.
Yeah. Well, congrats. So
congratulations.
Making the decision. So
yeah, heck yeah. So let's talk about it. August 26th, man. That date's coming. It's your big debut. Abel Mejia versus Maximiliano Gutierrez Perez. Talk to us about this fight. Your and your preparation for it. Yeah. Are you nervous? Have you watched film on it? And then also go through what's your prediction?
Yeah, so this fight is actually one of the first fights we did watch film, because we actually found film on this guy. He's 1 win, 1 draw, no losses, and he's from Mexico. Tough guy. We don't underestimate anybody.
Right.
But I just feel for this fight that I'm more than ready, long overdue, and I had 9 weeks of preparation, including this week. I've had some of the best sparring in the world, former Olympians, to former world title challengers.
Nice.
And former world title holders.
Nice.
And I'm more than ready. And my prediction is, I'm hoping for the knockout, but I'm not gonna force it. If it happens, it happens. But we're just gonna take this fight round by round and just put the pressure on and make it entertaining.
Nice.
At the end of the day, that's what people they pay their money for. They want to be entertained.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Commerce Casino, where?
Yeah, Commerce Casino. Yeah.
Okay.
Never been to the venue, but I'm interested to see how it's. But I've heard. I have a coworker who's gone to see fights and events there, and he says they actually throw a pretty bomb of events there at Commerce. So it's gonna be nice, man. That's awesome, dude. Everyone needs a solid foundation, a solid team, and you'll always need solid mentors to help you weave through the madness life has to offer. We wanted to give you an opportunity to shout out your team, your familia, your coaches, and what's some of the best advice you've heard so far from your team?
Well, first off, I want to shout out my dad, because my dad has pretty much been the one, to push me through all this. Even the days when I don't know if I want to do this, and just the hard days like that, and then my mom, all my siblings, because they're the ones that see everything that goes on behind closed doors that social media doesn't see, and just the hard times,
Yeah.
And then then I have a guy in Santa Ana that we're actually training at a gym today. I have my guy Chewy from Raw Talent Boxing. Yeah, so he owns his own gym. He's been helping us out a lot, and then my manager Brad as well. He's been he's been helping out with all the finances greatly,
Nice.
And just my whole team has been great. I just, can't wait to put on a show, to represent them the best way I can.
Nice.
That's awesome. Do you have a why? You know what a why is? Why do you do things,
Yeah.
And if you do, what is your why?
My why is because I feel like God has put me on this planet to do something more great than most people. I don't feel like I'm a regular person, and I don't want to be a regular person, And then too, just because I've seen people with the rich lifestyles and all that, and that's what I want for my family at the end of the day, is to not have those struggles and just stuff like that. And just if they want something, they could buy it, and not have that worry in life. That's my why.
That's awesome, man. Beautifully well said. Lastly, what's in the works for the future for you, and what can we look forward to in the future for yourself and your camp, man?
Right now we're just taking each fight one step at a time. Each fight is a stepping stone, but just expect some big things and expect some fireworks. Come August 26th. Just got a lot of things planned out for the future. And just we're taking it day by day, step by step.
Nice. Where can the people buy tickets?
At 360 Promotions on their Instagram, their link.
Okay.
Bio, yeah.
Nice.
That fight card's already almost sold out. I believe there's only 60 tickets left.
Oh, nice. Get your tickets, people.
Let's go. You gotta be
Commerce
there.
Casino.
Packed card, yeah.
Next Saturday.
Good fights on there.
Well, Jimmy's got some fun questions for you to kind of loosen up and everything like that. So we'll get that going here.
All right, Abel. Couple fun questions, my man. Just answer as you wish. Question number 1. If you came with a warning label, what would it state?
That's a good question. I think my warning label would be from the outside I look real calm and all that, but I am a firecracker as well. You know, like when I was little, I would be the kid always getting in a fight.
Right.
You know, like in school and stuff like that. You know, and I like, but now I'm real mellow, but don't take my kindness for weakness as such. You know.
I see.
I like that.
Nice. Question number 2: blue cheese or ranch?
I don't like either.
You don't like
That's
either,
a tough one.
I mix them.
He's not-
Throw them away.
That's a tough
All
one.
right, next one. If a dog were chasing you, what pair of shoes would you be wearing?
Probably those Hoka runny shoes.
Oh yeah, I know. Those are pretty popular right now, right?
Those are comfortable.
Some question number 4: Julio Cesar Chavez or Oscar de la Hoya?
I'm about to go with Chavez in that one.
There you go, nice. Question number 5: If you had an opportunity to have a message on a billboard, what would it state?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Just tomorrow is a promise to make the best out of today with the best attitude. Because I feel like the attitude you have can actually change the world.
Well, absolutely, man.
deep.
Hey, I do sales for a living, and one of them is good attitude, and then the other one is maintaining good attitude.
Yeah.
It's all about attitude, baby.
Because I feel like that having the good attitude, like even throughout something bad, can change the whole perspective of it and how people react to it, how they how they handle it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Attitude is everything. Question number 6: Apple or Android?
I'm gonna go with Apple all
Come
day.
on, we're dominating you, Jimmy. Come on.
Don't let me get started right now. let me unflip
He's an
my
Android
phone
guy.
right now.
I don't know why.
200K zoom, fucking 8K filming, stylish.
They got some good
yeah.
camera. I'll give them that. They got good
All
cameras.
right. All right. Any pre-fight superstitions?
Not really. Just I don't really have no
Yeah,
superstitions
okay,
before the
alright.
fight.
Nice. Top 5 boxers of all time in your eyes.
In my eyes,
Yeah.
I gotta go Ronnie Rios because I've trained with him. I've seen everything that goes,
Yeah.
behind the scenes. His brother Alexis Rocha. I had to go Canelo, Chavez, and I'm gonna say Tank Davis as well.
Woo, I like Tank too. Yeah.
Nice. Question number 9: Do you have a greatest upset in boxing of all time?
Greatest upset. I think so far was the Spence Crawford because
That's interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of people were like, oh, like Spence is too big for him. Spence is gonna, gonna walk him down, put too much pressure on him. But I just felt like that Crawford was too intellectual, like too smart for him. With the game of inches.
Right. My greatest upset of all time was when Mike Tyson lost.
Oh yeah,
With
Buster Douglas.
Buster Douglas. Yeah, that was it. All right, last question. I am Abel Mejia, and I am.
Sometimes I'm heartless, but then sometimes I could be also the nicest person you've ever met.
Nice.
The best of both worlds right there.
And a future champ.
Future champ, future Hall of Famer, future everything. He's coming for it. He's gunning for it, people. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Have a plan, baby. You gotta have a plan.
Abel, it's again an honor to be able to have you sit down in our studio to bring your story, to highlight your career path, to highlight the foundation, the people who mean the most to you. I mean, you have your brother here as well, and that's awesome because I can see the unity and we can see the hunger in you, and that you're gonna go far. I can already we can feel your presence within yourself and your energy that you illuminate to us, and man, that speaks volume, especially for your age and things like that. So we are honored to have you here on the show. You told me this was gonna be like your first podcast ever. So we're honored to be a part of that as well.
Yes, for having me.
Yeah, of course. And we can't thank you enough. Shout out to Ronnie for the referral and everything. And we can't thank you enough for being here, man.
Thank you guys. Yeah,
of course, man.
it.
Anything else, Jimmy?
Again, thank you, Abel, for coming down. Again, thank you for taking the time. We hope nothing but the best for you. So can't wait to see you Saturday too. So
yeah, we're going Saturday. We're gonna see it. Woo! You want to shout out anybody else? Any final words before we go?
No, I just want to give a shout out to all my people out there in El Medina, California, and you guys have a champion coming out of there.
Let's go. Nice. Stay humble and don't get outworked.
Yeah, that's the main goal.
We out of here, man.
Rich nigga rules, I believe it. Manifest, gave me blessings, and that's how I know. That's how I know. Yeah, that's how I know. 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 That's how I knew that I was different. That's how I know. 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 That's how I knew that I was different though. Rap fans, it's a different flow. Different deals getting different dough. Yeah, my life doing different shows.